Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
For your contributions and volunteering your auctioneering services to the community.
Kids, you name it.
Thank you, Sutter County. We consider it an honor and a privilege and a duty to help out and give back. Go Sutter County. Whereas firefighters dedicate their lives
In all cases, it's the risk, the ultimate sacrifice of a firefighter's life. Whereas International Firefighters Day is a time where the community can recognize and honor the sacrifices that firefighters make to ensure their communities. International Firefighters Day is observed each year on the 4th of May, where we remember the past firefighters who have died while serving our community or dedicated their lives to protecting the safety of us all, and show our support and appreciation to firefighters worldwide who continue to protect us so well throughout the year. And whereas hailing from all walks of life, there are mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, grandparents, neighbors, and friends. They protect us without wanting recognition.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Thanks to the board. We appreciate the recognition. And to everyone in the gallery out here, thank you for your time. It's an honor and privilege to be able to stand before you. And I think I can speak for all of us saying it's our honor and our privilege to be able to serve you as a community. Thank you very much. Well, on
Andre actually summed it up very nicely. There isn't a day that doesn't go by where we don't wake up and just feel privileged to be able to do this job and provide services to everyone in this community. And so we're just very thankful for that. And in addition to just thanking my staff and acknowledging, you know, the week to recognize peace officers, let's not forget that it's also Peace Officers Memorial Week. And there are so many that have paid the ultimate sacrifice to protect our communities. And so also just next week, as you're reminiscing a little bit and giving some thought, just say a prayer for those folks as well. Thank you.
Putting me on the spot. So I'll just pass on exactly what everybody else has said. I think I want to also add, it's kind of special that we're doing this all together. Nurses Week, fire department, we're appreciation. And then it goes to, like, you know, just the basketball game that we did with the fire department, and it shows the collaboration that we have in Sutter County. So it's a huge honor to be able to do this and to represent you guys and to protect and serve you guys, because that's what it's all about, and to work together with amazing men and women in this county, because we truly do have some amazing men and women that do serve you guys. So thank you.
Diane Adam.
Graduate. Captain.
Turn the heater on a little bit.
I didn't do it. It's not.
It is warm. (2023) Whereas the Sutter County relies on foster care homes due to the number of traumatized children found to be at risk and being removed from their own homes because of sexual. (109) children in out-of-home care, including foster homes and short-term residential therapeutic programs. And whereas Sutter County has children placed with foster parents in the counties of Sutter, Butte, Fresno, Sacramento, Placer, Merced, and Yuba, who have opened their hearts and their homes to the children of Sutter County in times of crisis, providing a safe, loving, and supportive home environment due to their commitment to the needs of the children. Now, therefore, the Sutter County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim the month of May 2023 as a National Foster Care Month.
Social workers, so these are my homes, and I love them all for what they do for the community and for the children in our community, and how well they take care of kids in need and kids who have been.
My husband and I were both foster parents. I say 100 years ago. It wasn't quite that far back. We adopted 4 children out of the system. 3 were a sibling group, and 1 was left field, not related to anybody. With our 2 biological children, gave us a house full of girls. They were all girls. Our answering machine used to say, "You've reached the house of estrogen. If you're brave enough to leave a message, wait for the beep, and when the mood is right, someone will get back to you." So, yeah. Anyway, thank you very much.
I just wanted to say thank you to our foster parents, and thank you for being here today. We really appreciate what you do, and obviously we couldn't do our jobs without you, and we appreciate you opening up your homes for our children in our community. And to our staff who work diligently to have our homes approved and ready and able and willing to take the kids on. And to Diana, who works diligently with the foster care kinship education program at Yuba College, and the program there provides education units for our foster parents to attend different trainings. So appreciate everybody. Thank you.
All right, so we have a proclamation we're presenting right now for Maternal Mental Health Month, May 2023. Whereas as over 1,343 babies are born in the Sutter during and after pregnancy is an issue of great concern to women and their families, and is therefore the interest of the County of Sutter. And whereas between 10 and 20% of the new and expectant mothers are affected by perinatal depression and related mood disorders such as anxiety, psychosis, and may experience associated symptoms which are often overlooked and heavily stigmatized, because new and expectant mothers suffering from perinatal mood disorder often feel confused, ashamed, and isolated. And whereas many at-risk women may not seek help because they're not informed about perinatal depression and related mood disorders as part of their health care, because there's a lack of knowledge in the use of screening and assessment tools, and because they're unaware of the treatment services for perinatal depression and related mood disorders. And whereas heightened awareness and increased education among all residents in the County of Sutter regarding the levels, perinatal depression can have a profound impact on the family and significantly contribute to adverse development and behavioral outcomes and attachment disorders in the young children of affected women. The perinatal depression is highly treatable. The Blue Shift Project and crisis hotlines. All right, so now therefore the Sutter County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim May 2023 as Maternal Mental Health Month in the county. Government agencies, public and private institutions, and businesses to facilitate increased awareness and education about perinatal depression and related mood disorders throughout the County of Sutter, to explore and encourage the use of the prenatal screening tools, and to improve the availability of and access to effective treatment and prevention and support services for the promotion of maternal and infant mental health in the County of Sutter.
Thank you, Honorable Board. On behalf of Blue Shift, which is an initiative that began a few years back with our public health, Sutter County Public Health Department, Sutter County Children and Families Commission, and Yuba County First Five, we organized anxiety disorders, something that affects a lot of women and families and thereby children. So we have organized a event on Friday, May 19th. It's called Envision. You to attend, and you can find the flyers out in the foyer, as well as learn more about this devastating yet preventable disease that moms face. And in addition to that, I'm going to hand it over to my friend Sarah to talk about our Blue Dot.
So the Blue Dot is Yeah, it's very heavy, heavier than it looks. So the blue dot is the international symbol of solidarity and awareness around maternal mental health disorders that affect pregnant and postpartum women. So we're joining the rest of the world in recognizing Maternal Mental Health Month by taking our blue dot all over Sutter County, and our partners in Yuba County are doing the same thing on the other side of the river. So if you represent an agency and an organization and would like the blue dot to come to your home, we're happy to bring it. And then the pictures are posted on social media and shared with all of our partners.
Rick Bingham, did I see Rick? Oh, come on, Rick. How are you doing? Throw power. The COVID-19 pandemic has increased the number of people experiencing feelings of anxiety and depression. And whereas there is a strong body of research to support specific tools that all Americans can use to better handle mental health related challenges and protect their health and overall well-being. And whereas with effective treatment, those individuals I proclaim the month of May 2023 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Sutter County and call upon all citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools in Sutter County to support our mental health providers, recommit to increasing awareness and understanding.
Thank you, Chairman. Five Americans have a mental health disorder at some point in a given year, but only about half of them receive treatment. And in only 55% of the counties in the United States is there a psychiatrist. So that means that the other percentage don't have any psychiatrists. So we're very fortunate here in Sutter County that we have treatment available and that we know treatment works, and we encourage.
POX? Are now 60 years of age or older, representing 21% of the total population. And whereas Sutter County is committed to strengthening our community by connecting with and supporting older adults, their families, and caregivers, and acknowledging their many valuable contributions to the society. And whereas Sutter County recognizes the importance of bringing together all generations and engaging in activities that promote physical, mental, and emotional well-being for the benefit of all. And whereas our local communities can enhance the life of older Americans by promoting home and community-based services that support independent living, involving older adults in community events and other activities, and providing opportunities for older adults to work, volunteer, learn, lead, and mentor. Now, therefore, the Sutter County Board of Supervisors do hereby proclaim the month of May 2023 as Older Americans Month in Sutter County. We urge every resident to take time during the month to recognize older adults and the people who serve them as essential.
Have them sing. I want to especially recognize supervisors, older Americans.
Meals on Wheels, transportation, legal services. And I thought it was really appropriate that you opened up these proclamations with seems like we do a lot in Sutter here. And I recognize a lot of your Board of Supervisors who come all the way to Sacramento for our meetings. And yes, and Tanya, and thank you so much. So I want to pass this on to who?
So just very briefly, it takes all of
4 public comment speaker cards. First one, Liz Cervantes.
Hi, Liz Cervantes, District 5. Of course, I'm here to comment on the meeting time, which is so inconvenient, but you managed to fill your chambers with presentations, and every single one of those award recipients was deserving. However, I would like to make a suggestion for you 5, that you hold the awards until the end of the meeting. Such a distraction. This is a business meeting. People entering, exiting. It's a revolving door. Just a suggestion. I would like to say that yesterday was National Donkey Day. And I would like to encourage all of you not to be a jackass. I'm still waiting for Taxpayer Appreciation Day. Do we have a ETA on that, Steve? I found it incredibly ironic that we are recognizing the firefighters since Sutter County doesn't fund fire. Did you all know that? We don't. We don't. Ask them. But good news. The citizens were tasked with coming up with an initiative, which we did. And it's on the table. But we have not heard back from our administration or the supervisors yet on where the language stands. So I'm going to tell you right now, 1 week from Thursday, May 18th, if we don't have an answer and we are not going forward, the citizens will take matters into their own hands and we will file. Again, 3 p.m. It's a very difficult time to come before our leaders. And as far as the heart of Yuba City, Dan, I forwarded you a picture, a text message. The heart of Yuba City shows where an entire contents of the garbage can at the south end of Plumas Street was emptied. Homeless people going through it. Shopkeepers having to spray down, clean up human waste. Please, can you just give the working man and girl a little shout out?
Next speaker, Mary Dressler.
Hi, and thanks for letting us talk today. My name's Mary, and I've been an IHS provider for 16 years. I don't work for my family, like some people do, but it doesn't matter. My issue was our raise, and I'm on the board of negotiations, and it was like an insult. 5 cents. Come on. My people I take care of, I have one in bed. I have a senior, she's 65, and she has heart problems, etc. I deal with medications, wounds, transporting them from in and out of their beds. I worked the pandemic because I didn't have anybody else to cover my shifts, and that was part of the pay. Fast food gets more than we do. And all they do is cashier or cook food. I've been doing this for 16 years, and this is the worst. I had 2 clients. One was in Live Oak and one was in East Nicholas. I didn't get travel time or gas mileage. I almost had to let one of these people go, but I didn't because there's no one else to work. And so I'm on the negotiation team, and we don't have an authorized person to do a raise for us or doesn't qualify for a raise. So we need to have somebody that's qualified and is going to listen to us because we're not going away. So that's all I have to say.
Next speaker card, Tony Farley.
I'm Tony Farley from South Yuba City, South Storage County. Here's big on the misdemeanor forecasting in Marysville. Marysville City Council have a law in place because you get a misdemeanor charge. So maybe you should ask Marysville PD come over here and price people for misdemeanor charge. And now speaking of that, today May's Police Memorial. My grandfather was LAPD, Internal Affairs back in LA in the 50s, the Cold War, and FBI. I support my law enforcement, officers, reserve, auxiliary, women, now diverse people in law enforcement. I support our firefighters, Cal Fire, LA Fire, SAC Fire, Metro Fire. I support mental health. Big mental health facilities, Los Angeles and Sacramento, big city. And I support everybody. Military veterans, today is Hmong Veterans Memorial during MCA, during the Vietnam War, fight against the communists. So I support our veterans. And also, June's coming out, June is Pride Month. As transgender, create transgender mental health awareness. Because a lot of time people attack people because of their gender. And it's not okay. So definitely, June is Pride Month and it's Transgender Month. So definitely, in April is Reserve Appreciation Month during LAPD. During April is Reserve Appreciation Month in LAPD in April. So thank you for your service.
Next speaker is Diane Jager.
Good afternoon, members of the board. On May 1st, I was very privileged, had the time, and I and 2 other citizens attended the Biomass Energy Symposium in Roseville, sponsored by Placer County Air Quality. There were 11 companies present at that symposium. I was able to make contact. The discussions, the information shared was amazing. I'm here because we didn't have any representation from our county that I'm aware of. There were close to 200 people in attendance from almost every Northern California county and cities. It's very upsetting that here we are in a position where we could utilize this technology, have an income stream coming in for our county, be able to generate clean energy and do amazing things for our farmers, and it seems to be ignored. Plants are currently either in planning stage, they're scheduled to start construction, or are already up and running through many of these counties and cities, including Woodland has a pilot, Shasta County, Colusa County, the city of Williams, Butte County, Oroville, that's going to start construction, Placer County. They are diversified in the type of plants that are going to be up and running, but they're all aimed at the one thing, and that is to be able to supply clean energy, and in our cases that would be
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. I am Kristen Perry, the Executive Director of the Yuba-Sutter Chamber of Commerce, and I did bring some friends with me because this really is about recognizing our small businesses in Sutter County. So this is just a small portion of the representation of our businesses in the area, and we do feel and value them as the foundation that is here in our community. So I'm going to let them do a quick intro.
I'm Maria Ball. I sit on the board of the Chamber of Commerce. I also represent the Yuba-Sutter Food Bank and Showcase Real Estate.
Nicole Rogers, also a board member and Government Affairs Committee Chair, and also owner of Express Employment Professionals.
Dan Flores, past chairman of the board of the Chamber of Commerce.
I'm Nicole Rubio. I'm an ambassador with the Chamber of Commerce, and I am the founder director of Rolling Relief.
Rob Klotz with Comfort Keepers in Marysville, also a former board member of the Chamber.
Thank you. Once again, if we could just give it all the small business owners a round of applause, please.
And through the chair.
Yes, Supervisor Ziegemeier.
I would ask if we could move item number 38 to the front of the appearance item, if that's all right with you. I have to leave the meeting early. In front of...
Through the chair, we do have a presentation from the farm advisor as well.
Yeah, that's the next.
Before the...
No, I'm... talking just moving it in front of item number 31 when we get to public hearings.
That's where we're at right now.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, after 32.
Is that okay?
Yes, it is at the board's discretion, and just as long as we get public comment at that time for that item.
What else does... Yeah, let's just move on here with the public hearing. We're going to start with item 31. If we could have Arwen, please come up.
Public hearing to consider adoption of a resolution updating the Natomas Basin mitigation fee for 2023 for authorized development under the Natomas Basin Habitat Conservation Plan.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon. I'm Arwen Watt, the Principal Planner with Development Services. I know you're familiar with Sutter County and the City of Sacramento are both signatories under the Natomas Basin Habitat Conservation Plan. Under the HCP, Sutter County is allocated 7,467 acres of development within the Natomas Basin. The board established the Natomas Basin mitigation fee in August of 2021 and through the approval of ordinance 1686 and resolution number 21-047, which set the initial fee. Similar to what we are taking forward today, in April 2022, the board adopted resolution number 22-026, updating the mitigation fee to its current rate, which is $43,968 per gross disturbed acres when the mitigation does not include land dedication, and $27,718 per gross disturbed acre when mitigation includes a land dedication component. The Natomas Basin mitigation fee is adopted by both Sutter County and the City of Sacramento. Yearly, the Natomas Basin Conservancy hires a financial consultant to evaluate the costs associated with the implementation of the Natomas Basin Habitat Conservation Plan to determine if the fees are adequate. The Natomas Basin Conservancy then takes that evaluation before the board, who then forwards a recommendation both to Sutter County and the City of Sacramento. With this recommendation and analysis for this year, due to rising costs of mitigation land acquisition cost, anticipated to be approximately $31,500 per acre, their board has recommended to increase the mitigation fee to $45,565 per gross disturbed acre without mitigation, and $29,815 per gross disturbed acre with land dedication. The City of Sacramento has already taken action on this back in February and approved the exact same increase to the mitigation fee. Staff recommends the board take similar action. This did go before the Public Works and Staff Services Committee and was reviewed on April 13th, and staff is available for any questions you may have.
Thank you. There's no There are no public comment or no cards from the public. Any questions from the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
Been moved in second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmeyer?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
All right. Appearance item 32. Whitney Brem DeForest.
There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Whitney Brem DeForest. I'm the County Director for Sutter Yuba, and we will be presenting a little bit about our programming this afternoon. All right. So we are University of California Cooperative Extension, also known as the Ag Extension or Farm and 4-H Advisors. Can I scroll or? Oh. So first of all, a lot of folks don't know who we are, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time explaining the history of cooperative extension in the United States. Can I scroll, or how am I supposed to move it? Sorry. Okay, so we are through the University of California. Our division is known as University of California Division of Ag and Natural Resources. Land grant universities were established by an act of Congress way back in the day in 1862. And then the University of California was created in 1868. Congress authorized the Ag Experiment Stations in California. That's UC Davis, UC Berkeley, a couple of other of the UCs. And then Cooperative Extension, our division, was established in 1914. So what makes us so unique is that we are a cooperation between the federal government. So we're funded partially by USDA and NEFA. And then the state through the land grant universities, and in California, that's UC. And then also through our local county offices. So we are funded partially, and I'll explain this in a moment as well, through local county governments. So here for us, that's Sutter and Yuba counties. And it's a great partnership. You can kind of see off of the spokes of the wheel there. We also have professional staff in the offices like myself and our volunteers, and we'll be hearing from some of them in a little bit. So we really bring the power of the University of California to all of Californians. We serve in all 58 counties. We provide safe, nutritious food delivery and production, economic success in our economy, as well as sustainable, healthy, and a productive environment, and science literacy and youth development. So all of these things are available in Sutter and Yuba counties. So I won't explain the map in total here, but you can see our distribution across the state. All those little dots there in red are county offices. We also have research and extension centers. One is actually located in Yuba County. A lot of folks don't know about it, but it's up in the foothills. And then the Ag Experiment Stations, which include UC Davis, UC Berkeley, etc. We also have 13 statewide programs and institutes, some of which you might be familiar with, like the 4-H program and the Master Gardeners, who we'll hear from in a little bit. There's also UC IPM. If you've ever Googled pest management, you've probably found our website. So the folks like myself and others across the state contribute to the research that go behind all of that information that you're Googling. And we have 19,000 volunteers across the state, and those volunteers are completely volunteering their time to the equivalent of about $62.7 million in donated public service across the state. Thank you. So here in Sutter and Yuba, we are your local connection. We've been serving here for over 100 years. We were founded here in 1918. We're one of the oldest cooperative extension offices in the entire state. So here we deliver programs for economic development of local ag and forestry. We've interacted with some of the board of supervisors here, advisors like myself. I work in rice, so you can kind of think of us as your friendly local scientists. We have youth development through our 4-H program, and we have staff and some volunteers as well that work in our 4-H program. The Master Gardeners, which is completely volunteer run except for one staff member. CalFresh Healthy Living. They deliver evidence-based nutrition education and physical activity classes in our schools. So you might be asking how we're funded here. So the county pays for our operating expenses, our office, our vehicles, and our 2 staff. Yuba County funds 37% and Sutter County 63%. And that was based quite a while ago on some sort of population land allocation. We are 0.06% of the Sutter County budget in 2023. The university, which funds all of the staff salaries, advisors like myself, our community educators, we have 18 FTE, and that's through the University of California, federal funding as well, some endowments, and then grants that we bring into the community. And that's to the tune of about $1.9 million in 2021-22. So today, I'd like to highlight, we have a lot of things going on in our office. It's too much to fill a 20-minute presentation. We need to talk for several hours probably. But we have a really exciting project that we've been working on this year. It was funded through the Center at Sierra Health Foundation, and it funded in and after school programming in schools in Sutter County. And we also have a camp this summer, a day camp, which is scholarships, and Raina will talk about it in a bit here. It's free for kids ages 6 to 12. And it was a collaboration between 3 of our programs, 4-H, CalFresh Healthy Living, and the Master Gardener program. So I'm going to introduce some of my staff here to talk about it. So Renee McCrory, our 4-H secretary, who's a Sutter County employee.
Can you go to the next slide? Okay, so I'm going to talk about the embryology program. And we have embryology kits that we loan to teachers into both Sutter and Yuba counties. And they get to see the fertilized eggs through the process of hatching. And the teachers really love it. And a lot of the feedback we got is that, it's the best thing they ever did in their classrooms. And so, and the other good thing is that we have classrooms from preschool all the way to like 4th grade. So they can really adapt the program to a lot of different ages. And so right now we're in 17 schools in 34 classrooms, and it really kind of took off because as soon as the teachers had a lot of success, then they were able, like they talked amongst each other, and more teachers just wanted them and wanted the kids. And so we did a train the trainer, and we trained 19 teens and teachers in 6 Sutter County schools. And that way we were able to show them how to use the kits and the incubator, brooder, handler, so all the stuff that was included in the kits. Okay, and then also in this grant, we are doing Water Wizards, which is a a water education project, and it's like hands-on learning, and we just teach the kids about the water cycle. They watch a video about it, and then they draw it, so they get to kind of put it into action, how it works. And let's see, I think the next. And so we did it at Franklin School, and we're doing a couple other lessons this summer, partnering with the Sutter County Museum. So we're going to do them in the garden there. Okay, that's my part.
Hi, my name is Raina Barden. I am the 4-H CES, the Community Education Specialist for Yuba-Sutter counties. And another part of our grant that we were working with is delivering Cooking Academy. It's an in-school and after-school program that all the different sites got a complete kit, and the teachers have a binder with breakdowns on how to deliver those 7 different lessons. They're typically scattered once a week for the after-school programming. We also held a train the trainer for the teachers, so they got hands-on experience, and we were able to hit multiple different targeted classrooms and after-school programs to be able to give them hands-on experience how to deliver Cooking Academy into the classrooms. So we are in 3 schools, so we're in Terra Buena, Lindcrest, and Lyndhurst. Or Lincoln, and we've hit roughly about 350 students. It's a program that keeps growing and growing, and we're introducing healthy nutritional options. So a lot of the recipes do not involve any meat products or anything like that, just to be able to monitor with allergy or religious restrictions. So it's a lot of vegetarian type quick, easy meals for the kids to be able to learn about and potentially take home. And the third program that we've been working along with was our Master Gardeners. They were able, with the grant, to provide over $20,000 worth of supplies. So the schools were able to apply for items that they would need. So if it be soil, irrigation for those garden boxes, the garden boxes themselves, or other tools and plants needed for their gardens. We're doing design setup with the schools. We're out there helping the teachers also. And if you want to go to my next slide, we also have been working on delivering these different workshops for the teachers. So they've been fun hands-on workshops for the teachers to be able to come to for Sutter County. They're held either at our office or at the garden at the fairgrounds. They have learned about composting, vermiculture, crop rotation, how to set up irrigating properly, how to repair that irrigating when it gets damaged, and about grafting and transplanting plants. So we've done a really good job being able to try to supply all the tools and education needed to be able to administer a good sustaining garden. We are in 18 schools, 3 different school districts. So we're in Yuba City Unified, Franklin School District, and Sutter County Superintendents of Schools. And this is my pride and joy, Ag Venture Day Camp. This has been something that's been very passionate to me to be able to offer to our community. We are working on being able to reach underserved populations in our community. So we do offer scholarships. So those that maybe didn't have the opportunity to attend a camp like this before could be able to at no cost to them. It's for ages 6 to 12 years old. I've worked closely with farmers in our communities to be able to show these kids hands-on, firsthand knowledge and experience of what our community has to offer. A lot of people aren't really sure what all Yuba and Sutter counties have to offer. Sutter County with the farming, so we have farms that we'll go to. We'll go to ranches. We are going to learn about the Yuba water, Yuba River with the kids. We have guest speakers, so they'll get to see and hear from an actual scientist. They will get to hear from local people that work in our communities that render these services that maybe they didn't know that they were a part of. And we'll give gardening tips. They will get to start their own vegetable little portable garden. So it's going to be a great experience for these kids to learn about what our county has to offer and to be able to introduce those kids that maybe otherwise have never seen a cow in person or gotten to touch a cow. We're making that happen for them. So it'll be a fun experience. We've worked really hard with keeping everything as local as possible, and we're really excited to see how this camp turns out so we can continue it on for future years for these kids.
Okay, so we're going to have some of our 4-H, or one of our 4-H members speak, and one of our Master Gardener volunteers. We're a community organization, and none of our programs would work without everyone that we've got involved. So go ahead, Eva.
Yes. Hello, my name is Eva Scott, and I'm a sophomore at Sutter High School. I have been in 4-H since I was 5 years old, so I think 9 years now. And it just started by showing chickens and dogs. I had a little Shih Tzu dog, and she only had one eye, and I just showed her around the fair. And it just taught me responsibility and how to be a leader in my community. We get put in leadership positions very early on in 4-H, and it just shows you how you can pretty much do anything from a young age. And it gives you a lot of work experience. Being able to take care of sheep is a big responsibility. You know, you're taking care of another animal. You have to feed them in the morning and in the evening. I owe a lot of my public speaking to 4-H also. Being president, you have to run the meetings all by yourself and say the agendas, new business, old business, and it just gives you so much confidence. One day, I hope to be a 4-H leader and encourage my children to be in 4-H programs. The 4-H program gives back to the community by its members volunteering in various ways. I've been fortunate enough to volunteer for the Yuba-Sutter Fair Youth Auction Committee, Yuba-Sutter Fair Animal Evacuations, Coats for Kids, Buckeye Parade, and Yuba-Sutter Food Bank, just to name a few. And I would like to leave you with a quote from Sally Serger, who was a 4-H community leader for many years. She would always say that you can always tell a 4-H kid by their work ethic, community service, and leadership abilities, and I am proud to be a 4-H member. Thank you for your time. Do you have any questions for me?
Through the chair, I just have a quick comment. Thank you, and I just wanted to mention that Sutter High School keeps cranking out the talent, huh? Yeah.
Hi, my name's Jan Kendall. I'm a UC Master Gardener volunteer. I don't think Whitney knows this, but I trained in Solano County 38 years ago. So I've been a Master Gardener for a very long time. And with Sutter County for 26 years, I am a Platinum Master Gardener, which means I've devoted over 2,000 hours, but it's probably been a lot more than that. I'm also a retired Sutter County ag biologist, and I feel a sense of relief that you farmers on the board, she's not going to be out there anymore. But I will say what the Master Gardener program brings to the community is huge. Janine Hasey started this program in the Master Gardeners many, many years ago. And what that provides is homeowners now have a place to come to ask questions, and the farm advisors can still advise the farmers. And that's really what the Master Gardener program is about, is us. We get out in the community, we're at the farmer's market, we have our office hours, we go out and give talks, that kind of thing, and always available for people. In fact, I had a farmer's wife call me and ask questions about her lawn just a few hours ago. So we're always available to answer homeowner questions, and that's the goal. It's UC-based research. So everything that you hear from us is going to be based on research. It's not going to be anecdotal. It's not going to be based on your grandmother's, what she did back in the 1980s or whatever. It's going to be research-based research so that you guys can get the right answers and get your homeowner problems under control. But it's fun. It's a great community of Master Gardeners. You know, we all have the same thing in common, so there's that community. We all volunteer at the, all of us show up at the Learning Garden, which is the garden that they were talking about earlier at the fairgrounds, and that's quite a remarkable garden now. Mark has really taken that off, and it's quite remarkable. If you guys ever get a chance to stop by and see that, we're going to be at the fair this year. So if you guys have homeowner questions, if you have questions about your lawn, your peach tree that you may not have sprayed this year, and it's all curly. So those kind of questions, by all means, call us. We can email us. We're all over the place. And we'd like to be all over the place, because the more education and the more opportunity we give good advice, the better everybody is. So do you guys have any questions? Like, does your turf have worms in it? I can help you with that.
Are there any questions for the board? Through the chair, no questions, just a comment. It's good to see you again, Jen. So thank you for everything you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all for your presentation. It was a great presentation. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Jan, thank you for coming up today. And I'd just like everybody to realize what this is all about. So, in the early 1900s, like 1918 and so on and so forth, the Farm Bureau was active. And in order to get a farm advisor and a farm advisor started in your county, you had to have an active Farm Bureau. And the Farm Bureau was a leg to that. And the idea was that the Farm Bureau would have farm centers, which we still have a few left, not very many in California left. And the idea was that the farm center would bring together farmers. The UC Cooperative Extension of Farm Advisors would send experts to those farm centers to talk about various scientific breakthroughs in technology of the day, contour irrigation. Maybe it would be spraying for blight for walnuts, or peach sprays for peaches. Things that were revolutionary ideas in the early 1900s. And these farm centers would have, and then the Farm Bureau would actively participate and send that farm advisor from one farm center to another farm center to give the same talk throughout the county, and then the local counties, neighboring counties, and do this. And that's how the message was broadcast and sent out in the early days. Today, we still do that. Today, we still have pruning meetings at the ranch. We still have, right now we have 4 different research projects going on at the ranch right now where we do trials on rootstocks and varieties, and also disease-resistant varieties of rootstocks. And right now we're starting another one for biomass to put back into the soil and that's done through the UC Cooperative Extension and the Farm Advisors and the UC Davis and the Walnut Commission and the Walnut Board all combining in together to do this research. So that's what we're all doing now, and it's the same thing we did 100 years ago. But we're new technologies, new implementation. Thank you.
Thank you all very much for your attention, and we really appreciate being here. Thank you.
Thank you once again for your presentation. All right, we had a request to go out of order on an appearance item, but I've got to backtrack here for a second to open up the public hearing and then close the public hearing. Okay, so we're going to skip down to appearance item 38.
Approval of salary increases and non-salary related changes for confidential deputy county councils, assistant county council, and unrepresented management employee bargaining units, including county council and the director of health and human services. Add language to the personnel rules to prevent compaction between department heads and subordinate management staff, and adjust salary ranges for 3 positions to implement changes. Adjust the salary range of the General Services Director to reflect dual responsibilities, request the grand jury to review Board of Supervisors' salaries, direct Human Resources to conduct a comprehensive salary study for all non-represented classifications, and make non-salary related adjustments for one law management classification.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and Supervisors. Steve Smith, County Administrator. So at the last meeting on April 18th, the board heard this item, asked some clarifying questions on possible budget impacts, and staff indicated that we would be balancing the budget soon and could come back and present information on how that occurred. Assistant CAO Leanne Link has a presentation regarding that, but essentially this is the same item that was on the 18th, barring a recommendation regarding conducting a salary study. And I will turn it over to Ms. Link.
Good afternoon, Leanne Link, Assistant County Administrator. I think the question that came up after the budget study session that we had with the board on April 20th is, as you will recall, there was a $3.2 million budget deficit. That's not unusual for us. It represents the requested budget as the department submitted and our first pass at looking at the revenues to support that. Subsequent to that meeting and with direction that's provided by the Board of Supervisors and the discussion that was had, our office goes back and we will never bring you a budget that's out of balance. And so we start working immediately on balancing the budget. So we were able to balance the budget, which will come back to you in June for presentation, budget hearings, and ultimately budget approval, which is tentative prior to budget adoption, which happens in September. The largest part of the budget gap that we were able to close, we closed through revenues. There was some residual fund balance from that the board had set aside to compensate for an adjustment to our property taxes. And fiscal year 23-24 will be the last year that we have that. That was about $770,000. We also had a little over $300,000 left in the permit increase rebate program. We were able to cancel that fund balance. We looked again at our revenues for franchises. We looked at what our actual contingency expenditures will be, and we're able to close about $1.7 million of the gap with that. We also made some budget reductions, mostly in salary savings, and we spread those across the county. We looked at each department, we looked at their history, and how much of their budget they previously spent, where they were year to date compared to their current year appropriations, as well as what their budget request is for next year, and how much they actually, what the increase was from this year's adopted budget. And by doing that, it really gives us an ability to analyze the actual need and really imply a vacancy rate that all departments will have. Every department, almost every department, has vacancies during the year. Maybe the exception is a farm advisor because they're so small. But we are able to capture that savings. And when a position becomes vacant, we have to do an open recruitment or a recruitment for the position. It takes us time to fill it. And so we know that we can capture salary savings by that. So that is, in a nutshell, how we close the budget gap. The budget does include the salary increases that are proposed, and we will be able to close that gap without major cuts. We do feel some of it because we end up with a very large vacancy rate. We're running about 20% right now, but that does lead to salary savings for us and an ability to close the budget gap.
All right, we have 2 speaker cards. First is Rick Fenton.
Members of the board, I hear this talk about pay raises. At what point is enough enough? This county is bloated with bureaucracy. You should be looking at cutting non-essential positions, and you should be looking at funding public safety, not trying to perpetuate this leviathan of an administrative state. I don't hold you accountable. This was a pre-existing condition that you guys inherited, but you have the possibility to keep it from getting worse. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker card is Liz Cervantes.
So let's talk about 4/20/23, Willie Nelson Day. We were all here, remember? You guys? Me? I'm not quite sure how this magic took place, but okay. But what I want to remind you guys of, and I'll do it in pictures. And that special one down there, for you up for re-election, you're welcome. That's what I do. Just a friendly reminder. Public service announcement. Please. Mr. Fenton was right. We are bloated. Hope you do the right thing by your constituents.
All right, seeing no further public comment cards, bring back to the board for any questions.
Through the chair, I just have a comment. I just want to apologize to the employees if somehow you thought that you didn't deserve to be paid, or that's what I thought. I absolutely believe you do, and was always going to eventually vote for this. I guess it's because I spoke about safety also that it somehow got conflated that I wanted to use these raises to, harden off some points to keep everybody safe. But the truth is I want to do both things, pay you and protect you. So I will be voting for this pay raise. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions from the board?
Through the chair.
Supervisor Ziegmeyer.
Department heads, electeds. In Sutter County, they're all the same. We're all staff. We work our tails off. When I say we, because we're all part of we. Whether they take their badge off and they go home, they're still working. Whether Leanne leaves the office at 5 o'clock at night, she's still working. Same thing with Steve. We lose key personnel every year. Incredible personnel every year. Because we can't keep up. My company turns 77 years old this year. Because we have the best people. That's it. We have the best managers. And we have the best department heads. And when I ran for supervisor, I wanted to do the same thing for Sutter County. I wanted to have the very best people, the best leaders. And nothing, you walk around and say, hey, great job, great job. Everyone's doing a great job. But we need people that want to, whether when someone leaves a position, want to actually apply for that position, or if someone leaves an elected position, actually want to apply for that position, because they can make a lot more. You look at an accountant for Sutter County, makes a little under $200,000, actually I should say about $145,000 a year. You go out in the private sector, you're going to make about 3 times that. Why do you want to run for the position? Because you want to make positive change. You want to see things get better. And we're never going to get there if we keep on doing what we do. And public safety. This board has done nothing but support public safety as long as I've been a board member. Absolutely nothing but support public safety. We live and breathe public safety. My dad started the Sutter Fire Department in Sutter. My brother's been there for 20 years on the volunteer. I pop in there time to time to see what they're doing. And every department here is doing the very best they can with what they have. And everything we can do to help them out, I'm going to vote yes for. Because last month, 3 of us didn't vote for the pay raise because we wanted to wait for the budget to see what the budget was all about, to see if we could figure out these raises in the budget. Because we supported the raises, but it was important to us, just like any other business, to make everything work and to see how it was going to work. Neil Hayes over there. I got such a great working relationship with him. I can call him up whenever, whatever, and get that answer right off the bat and relay it to my constituent in the area. It's incredible. Love working with you. Ken Surratt, where's Ken at? Ken's not here. Same thing with Ken. My gosh. Lisa, first class. My gosh, when you leave the office, you don't get to hang up your phone. I assume your phone's ringing probably till 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Deborah McKelly. Wow. One of the very best I've worked with. Love working with you. Same thing. I don't care if it's a Saturday or Sunday. I call you and say, hey, I got a question. What can we do here? Answers a question. Great at what she does. Worked with many, many attorneys, first class. Gina Rowland, not here with us today, going through some stuff right now. Gina, absolutely amazing. Look what she's done with HR. I don't think from what I've heard, we haven't had a HR department hit it out of the park as well as going on right now. So great job with the department there. Sarah, behavioral health. We're down almost 28% behavioral health. We talk about mental health illness. That's where you don't want to be down. And her staff bring that all together. And whenever we need something, they're there. All right, they're there for the community. They're good at what they do. They're the best at what they do. James in the library. Is James here today? James is not here. Same thing with James. James gets beat up. Why are you shutting the library down? He's doing the very best he can to keep everything. He's applying for these grants. He's helping us out to get things going. Molly Bloom, look at the museum. Michael Solinger, our public defender. We're lucky to have Mike. Goes down with our electeds. Todd Retzloff, Nate Black, Donna Johnson. Outstanding. I call Donna whenever. She's able to get us the information. That's part of our job, is managing, just like them. And we need all the tools we can, all the right answers, and information as soon as we can to be able to figure it out. Sheriff, my gosh, when you clock out, do you get to go home and just hang it all up? No. Same thing with undersheriff. I mean, it's unbelievable. You're there for every community event, helping out, answering questions, doing everything you can there. Nick Valencia, our new treasurer, happy to work with Nick. And then it goes back to these 4 gentlemen. You look at these guys. No one's talking about a raise here. We're fine. We're happy to continue going. and our CAO Smith, who's one of the lowest paid CAOs in the state of California. One of the lowest. Thank you, Steve. You know, and it's just, absolutely I support this because staff brought back a balanced budget that I wanted to work with, and we saw that what we can get through, and I think it's imperative that we keep what we have going right now in managing the future for Sutter. That's all I got to say.
Supervisor Conrad.
Yes. So anyway, about a month ago, we brought back this item that we could see the budget, so we know what we had to do to make this work for this pay raise. And when I talked about that, we talked about all the department heads and the electeds in all the positions and where they placed in the rest of the 7 counties around us. Everyone was either at the bottom or the one up from the bottom. Every single one. How are we going to keep qualified, great staff that we have here if we're not going to pay them a competitive wage? They're going to go to other counties. We have lost great employees to the city. We've lost great firemen. We've lost great sheriff deputies. We've lost across the board and staff as well. And it's because we're not paying a competitive wage. People love to work for Sutter County, but they want to have a wage that they can live on that's competitive with the surrounding jurisdictions. And Ziegemeyer was absolutely right when he said that. And we've got to get there, and that's what we're going to do. So that's all I had to say. Thank you.
All right, if there's no further questions, what's the pleasure of the board?
Through the chair.
Supervisor Flores.
Go ahead, Supervisor Conant.
I wanted to bring back one last point. So, Leanne, how many million have we put into fire in the last 3 years? Public safety, by the way, folks.
Thank you. Over the last 3 years, we've put in well over $3 million of a combination of discretionary general fund and also our ARPA monies, which are discretionary to the board because we calculated under the revenue loss provision.
Supervisor Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I could just ask the clerk, can you just read the entire recommendation, sort of a long recommendation, if you don't mind, and then I will make a couple of comments.
Number 1, approves the following actions for employees in the confidential, deputy county council and assistant county council, elected department heads and unrepresented management employee bargaining units, excluding sworn law management, fire management, probation management, and communications manager, and correctional lieutenant as those titles previously received, the same increases as those received by employees within their chain of command. A, approves a 2% base wage increase and a 3% equity adjustment and an additional 2% base wage increase effective the first full pay period following Board of Supervisors approval for all employees in the confidential, deputy county councils and assistant county council, elected department heads and unrepresented management units, and including county council and the director of health and human services. B, approves a 2% base wage increase effective the full first pay period in July 2024 for all classifications with exception of those specifically excluded in number 1. C, excludes the county administrator from the proposed wage increases per his request. 2, approves the following action for employees in the confidential, deputy county council and assistant county council, elected department heads and unrepresented management employee bargaining units, excluding sworn law management, non-sworn law management, and fire management as they previously received the same longevity and step requirements as those received by employees within their chain of command. A, effective the first full pay period in July 2023, revise steps 6 through 8 to require 2 years service between steps, eliminate salary steps 9 through 10, grandfather employees at steps 9 through 10, and provide longevity pay of 2.5% after 10 years of Sutter County service and 2.5% after 15 years of Sutter County service, for a total of 5% longevity pay. 3, approves the following non-salary related changes for all unrepresented management unit employees. A, add June 19th, Juneteenth as a county paid holiday. B, implement 60-hour maximum accumulation on holiday time bank hours Employees who have a balance of 60 hours shall be paid for work on holidays. C, allow employees who leave county service and are rehired within 1 year to have any sick leave hours forfeited at time of separation reinstated. 4, adds language to the Sutter County rules governing employee compensation, benefits, and working conditions as follows. A, 4.1.1, the salary schedule of appointed department heads shall be maintained so that each department head classification's base compensation at step 5 of the salary schedule is a minimum of 10% higher than the base compensation at step 5 of the salary schedule of their highest paid subordinate management classification, except employees who are licensed as medical doctors and assigned to the classification of psychiatrist, chief medical officer, and/or health officer. B, 4.1.2, the salary schedule of elected department heads shall be maintained so that the department head's base compensation at step 1 of the salary schedule is a minimum of 10% higher than the base compensation at step 5 of the salary schedule of their highest paid subordinate management classification. C, 4.1.3, the salary of the elected sheriff coroner shall be maintained so that the sheriff coroner's base compensation at step 1 of the salary schedule is a minimum of 15% higher than the base compensation at step 5 of the salary schedule of the undersheriff classification. 5, approves adjustment of the salary ranges for the Director of Development Services, the elected clerk recorder, and the elected sheriff coroner, consistent with the rules as indicated in item 4 above, effective the first full pay period after Board of Supervisors approval. 6, approves an adjustment to the salary schedule for the classification of General Services Director from Management 51 to Management 53 to reflect the dual role of General Services Director and Director of Information Technology Chief Information Officer for that classification, effective the first full pay period after Board of Supervisors approval. 7, approves a request to have the Sutter County Grand Jury investigate and report upon the needs for increase or decrease in salaries of the Board of Supervisors in accordance with California Penal Code Section 927. 8, directs the Director of Human Resources to conduct a comprehensive salary survey for all unrepresented classifications and recommend a plan to bring all unrepresented classifications to within 10% of the market of Sutter County's comparable agencies, and where no comparable position exists in the market, to make a salary recommendation based on comparison with similar positions within the county. 9, approves new 2.5% longevity premium pay for 5 years consecutive service, maximum longevity premium pay to be 10% for the sheriff non-sworn management classification of admin and finance manager law, which was inadvertently left out of the November 29th, 2022 Board of Supervisors action regarding the Deputy Sheriff's Association and associated management classifications, retroactive to the pay period beginning December 17th, 2022.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You almost did that as well as our chairman reading the reading the proclamations earlier. So that was very good. Thank you. I just want to say a couple of things. One, I stand pretty much where I stood on Willie Nelson Day. Thanks for the reminder. But yes, back last month, and I like the addition of the grand jury conducting a study as well. I would prefer and probably will bring back that the grand jury also conduct a study for all electeds, even though I'm in favor of what we have presented today as the salary raise. And I still hold with the opinion that I've always held, and that is the greatest asset of any organization is the people that represent that organization. And our people are amazing. I don't need to go down the list like Supervisor Ziegemeier so eloquently did, but they are amazing. They do a great job, and I want to continue to support that. You know, these are going to be tough times ahead, and we need the best of the best to help us navigate through those tough times. And the ones who are receiving this raise, you're well aware of the challenges that you're going to face moving forward as well. And, you know, I challenge you to step up to that challenge and work with us together to make things happen. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I would approve the recommended action. Excuse me. Sorry.
It's been moved by Supervisor Flores, second by Ziegemeier. All in favor? Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmeier? Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, now we're going to go back to item 33, Guadalupe.
Approval of an independent contractor agreement with Hamill, Green, and Abramson Incorporated for the design and preparation of construction documents for the Road Maintenance Division South Yard, an amount not to exceed $466,495 for the period of May 9th, 2023 through January 31st, 2024. Approval of an independent contractor agreement with HGA for the design and preparation of construction documents for the Road Maintenance Division North Yard, an amount not to exceed $613,554 for the period of May 9th, 2023 through January 31st, 2024. Approval to waive the requirement for a request for proposals for consultant selection under the provisions of Sutter County Ordinance Code Section 16-050, and authorization for the Director of Development Services or their designee to execute both agreements.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair and members of the Board. Guadalupe Rivera, Principal Engineer. The item before you is a recommendation to approve 2 design contracts with the architectural firm HGA out of Sacramento. The design contracts would be for the Road Maintenance Division South Yard and for the Road Maintenance Division North Yard. That was for the amounts as mentioned by our clerk here just a few seconds ago. Our Road Maintenance Division is made up of a north crew and a south crew in order to reduce response times to various road-related activities and hazards. And having a maintenance yard at each end of our county would allow crews to operate in a more efficient manner. The county currently owns the 2 parcels that would be improved, which are located on Pacific Avenue down in Trowbridge in the south part of the county and on Acacia Avenue in Sutter. A feasibility project study was conducted and completed in December of last year, which summarized the viability of the facilities at these locations. The new buildings would consist of a break room, lockers, showers, and offices for staff, which is typical for maintenance buildings of this type of use. There is no impact to the general fund for the design of these 2 projects, and funding is available in this current year's adopted budget. Additionally, appropriations for these projects are also included in the requested budget for next fiscal year, as the design is anticipated to be completed at December of this year. And with that, I'm happy to address any questions you may have.
Any questions from the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved in second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Approval to amend the fiscal year 2022 through 23 adopted road plan to add Frakes Way, Oak Ridge Drive, Oak Ridge Court, and Township Road from Lucky Road to Pennington Road to the fiscal year 2022 to 23 road overlay project, and approval of contract change order number 1 and an amount not to exceed $1,361,329.63 as part of the construction contract with All American Construction Incorporated for the fiscal year 2022 through 23 road overlay project.
Hi, good afternoon. Neil Hay from the Director of Development Services. So presenting this item that we wanted to propose a change order to the recently awarded road overlay contract. So when the reason why this change order is so large is that we're proposing essentially 2 major items. One is that when we bid the project, we included an add alternate to pave a section of Garden Highway down in District 5 along the Sacramento River. At the time of bid opening, we had not received approval from the Central Valley Flood Protection Board to pave on top of their levee. So we essentially were forced to award the contract to the low bidder without that work included. Subsequently, staff, both our principal engineer and our senior civil engineer, so Scott Riddle and Guadalupe, have been working with the contractors and the state agencies, and we've gained their written approval to proceed with that work. So the change order includes that work. Secondly, the bids that we received were substantially below the budgeted amount in the road plan, and so we wanted to go and add additional segments in order to utilize all of our available SB1 funds for the fiscal year. So staff is proposing overlays on essentially 3 roads that are off of Berry Road, just west of State Route 99. They're small, essentially cul-de-sac roads that haven't received maintenance for quite some time, and the department's received complaints about the quality of them. And then additionally, we're proposing a overlay on a section of Township Road from Pennington Road, essentially northward almost to the county line up to Lukey Road. And so the value of this change order exceeds my allowable authority. It's totals over $1.3 million. So we're bringing it before your board. There is somewhat of a caveat that we wanted to explain regarding Township Road. So the engineering staff also proposed a project to the SACOG funding round for transportation projects, and we essentially prepared this change order. Staff worked very hard to put the change order together, utilizing the unit cost from the contract. And we're proposing it through your board because at the time we were not made aware from SACOG whether or not our project to the tune of about $4.3 million, how it was being considered by SACOG. Just recently, last week, the Transportation Committee of SACOG met, and our project is one of the projects recommended for approval of $4.3 million. So consequently, in staff and speaking with SACOG up just a little bit before the meeting this afternoon, actually there's going to be a board of directors meetings with SACOG on May 18th, of which the board of SACOG would then have to approve all of the recommended projects. The issue with kind of this section of Township Road is it's included in a total request of about $130 million to SACOG, of which $60 million were approved. And so our 4.3 is included in that $60 million. So there's probably going to be some very lively discussion at the SACOG board meeting. Myself, staff are going to be obviously aware and watching the meeting. So what we're trying to do is hedge our bet by including this as a change order, that if for some reason SACOG were not to approve some or all of our funding, that we would be able to proceed and go ahead with this project. If the SACOG project is approved as we've submitted, we essentially would do a deductive change order that's within my authority as the director, and then we would follow up with the award of the SACOG funds and then proceed with that project within fiscal year 23-24. So earlier than 12 months from now, we'd be actually performing the work. It causes a slight delay, but the way the project was submitted to SACOG, it's essentially a competitive basis, and SACOG staff provided a kind of a recommendation and an analysis of the project, and essentially the road segments that staff worked very diligently to submit essentially are meant to support the county's agricultural network and then bringing those supplies to either main state highway system or to the city center, for example, of Yuba City. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Through the chair.
Supervisor Flores.
First, Neil, thanks for the presentation, and I'm going to early congratulate you on the SACOG, because I believe with Chairman Baines representing us on SACOG that there's no way they're going to renegotiate your amount. So 4.3 million is a substantial amount for Sutter County, and big congratulations to you. That's a lot of hard work, and it's very competitive. And for those of you who aren't aware, there's a high competition with Sacramento, West Sacramento and the region, who have a lot of resources to put these grants together, and to get 4.4 million out of that number is a kudos and congratulations to you on getting that. So I just want to make that statement. And Chairman Baines, we expect you to do a great job at the SACOG meeting coming up to make sure you bring back the 4.4 million. So no pressure
to the fire.
Come back with less. Thank you.
Through the chair.
Supervisor.
Yeah, I just want to say I love this. This makes my constituents happy, so this is great. Let's keep up the good work.
Further questions?
Oh, one last question. So, Neil, you did say that we got approval from the Central Valley Flood Board to pave that section of Garden Highway, correct?
Yes, we do.
Okay, excellent. I hadn't heard that yet.
Through
Move
the
to
chair.
approve.
Oh, I'll move to approve. So second.
Been moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Authorization to prepare a proclamation declaring May 21st through the 27th, 2023 as National Public Works Week in Sutter County.
Through the chair. Move for approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, item 36.
Presentation of the 2022 Sutter County Domestic Violence Council and Child Abuse Prevention Council Annual Report.
Good afternoon, Honorable Board of Supervisors. My name is Michelle Blake, and I'm pleased to serve as the 2023 Chair of the Sutter County Domestic Violence and Child Abuse Prevention Council. I'm here today to present the Council's 2022 report. The Council is dedicated to preventing domestic violence and protecting children from maltreatment. To guarantee the optimal well-being of our community members, the Council prioritized 3 areas in 2022, the first being organization, second, response and statistics, and third, community education and prevention. Within the context of the organization, the first key area, the Council oversaw membership, convened meetings to collect domestic violence-related statistics from each agency, disseminated committee information, and deliberated on new programs and services such as Handle with Care initiative and the continued monitoring and expansion of the ACE's website. In the response and statistics key area, the second key area, the Council aimed to review data to identify any significant trends that could contribute to potential challenges and changes that may occur in Sutter County. The Yuba City Police Department's numbers had actually a decrease of 89 incidents with a total of 288 incidents of domestic violence, with 35% of those with children present. And our Sheriff's Office numbers increased by 11 with a total of 99 incidents of domestic violence in 2022, with 32% of those incidents with children present. Overall, these statistics show that there was not a significant increase in domestic violence-related incidences. If you look at the statistics over the past 4 years from both departments, you will notice that they have either decreased or held steady. The Council has determined that these numbers may be attributed to COVID-19 pandemic restrictions being lifted, families returning to work, and home life stressors decreasing. Also, resources in our community moved from virtual contact to back to in-person, which increases engagement and interactions. Moreover, Casa de Esperanza had a total of 227 calls for initial client contacts, with 110 of them including children in 2021. Yet in 2022, there was a significant increase in the total of calls for initial client contact, going up to 351, with 51% of those calls including children. Our Victim Witness Service also provided domestic violence and or family violence victim statistics. In 2022, Victim Services assisted 437 domestic violence victims associated with criminal cases and an additional 56 without criminal cases. And concerning our final key area of community education and prevention, to increase community engagement, the following were celebrated and helped to elevate awareness. February was Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. April, Child Abuse Prevention Month. July was Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And October, Domestic Violence Prevention Awareness Month. Forgive me. In conclusion, your Sutter County Domestic Violence and Child Abuse Prevention Council is working diligently to provide domestic violence and child abuse prevention in our community. The Council's efforts have resulted in an increase in community involvement, a decrease in domestic violence-related incidences, and an increase in the number of people seeking assistance, which is so essential. So thank you for your attention to this matter and for your support in our efforts to create a safer Sutter County. Thank you. And any questions, please?
Any questions from
Through the chair.
Supervisor?
I just wanted to say thank you, Michelle, for the presentation, and listening to you, it's always amazes me like how much we do, or you do, especially with so little. So I mean, there's so much impact that we have on the county. So just thank you for all the great work.
Thank you. All right, item 37.
Adoption of a resolution reflecting the removal of No Place Like Home grant funding in the amount of $1,096,705 For the New Haven Housing Project, approval of the updated agreements for New Haven Permanent Supportive Housing, authorization for the county administrator to amend the pass-through Mental Health Services Act and No Place Like Home grant agreement with Regional Housing Authority for the New Haven Housing Project, and authorization for the county administrator to sign an intercreditor agreement with Yuba City Unified School District and related documents.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and Supervisors. I can summarize this quickly and then happy to go into more detail if you'd like. And Gus Becerra is here from the Regional Housing Authority. But essentially, in 2020, the board approved $1,097,000 and some odd dollars to be a pass-through through the county to the Regional Housing Authority for this project. However, HCD, Housing and Community Development at the state, has indicated that they will be sending the money directly, and we will no longer be a pass-through. So we just need to change the documents to match that financial arrangement. That's essentially it. I don't know, Gus, if you have anything additional to add.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Through the chair, I guess. Can you explain the impact? I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe I'm missing something here, but there's really no impact. It's just a change over.
Yeah, instead of us technically giving the amount to Regional Housing Authority that the board already approved for the county to do, HCD is going to instead not use the county as a pass-through, and it'll just go directly to RHA. It's the same exact amount.
Okay, so no. Okay, straight up. Okay, thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 39, follow-up reports and announcements.
Just one thing I was thinking of when the board was talking about employees and dedication. When I was over visiting one of the Health and Human Services programs, some employees stopped in just to ask how to get county shirts, and that they would even pay for them themselves, but they just wanted to represent Sutter County, and we're proud to represent the county. I know we haven't done, because of COVID recently, the employee picnic, but I think that's something we should plan for the fall. It's traditionally in May, but to thank our employees. And I believe we will have an amount in the budget for that. That's been the standard for the past, I don't know how long, probably 6 or 8 years. But I just thought that was really touching that they felt that. And depending on how the budget shapes up, maybe we can put some kind of allowance in there for having shirts made, or a discount or something like that, where employees will receive a credit. Or maybe we can do it through our Be Well program, where employees receive rewards for health-related activities. Thank you.
All right. The correspondences.
They've been filed.
All right, perfect. So, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure they were filed. That's all. I just right. So we're going to move into district reports. We'll start with District 1, Supervisor McKelly.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have too much to report, other than I just want to thank Sheriff Barnes and the Sheriff's Department. And I know, Andre, I don't know if you were there at the Live Oak at the basketball game for the anti-teen drinking, and I heard I had a family commitment and wasn't able to be there, but I heard it was a wonderful event, and I heard you guys won. Huh? Oh, were you there too? I'm sorry. I didn't know. I wasn't there. I'm sorry. Well, good job. Oh, okay. All right. Well, congratulations. But thank you guys for doing that. I appreciate it. That's a.
Supervisor Conant?
Yeah, do you want to go first? Okay, so I have 3 different things. First of all, Berry School will be holding their student award ceremony on May 31st. I would like certificates printed up for Damon Figueroa, Citizen of the Year, and Preet Tiara for Scholar of the Year. We can get that done. Okay. And then I just thought it'd be important to talk about a couple things that are coming before the board of SAFCA, Sacramento Area Flood Authority. Is working on the Fremont Weir widening and the bypass widening. This will have significant impacts for not only the Sacramento region, positive benefits. It'll help with the Folsom Dam. And by the way, SAFCA has been working on the Folsom Dam raise for many years now, and new spill gates and alternate spillway and a 3-foot raise and a 3-foot raise on all the wing levees and dams, excuse me. And they're also doing improvements on the rivers and all of the stream bed alterations. And this widening of the Sacramento the bypass and the Fremont Weir will lower the water behind Yuba City and Marysville 1.5 to 2 feet in major flood events. That is huge benefit not only to our area but also Sacramento as well, and that's why they're pursuing this project. But this will also help with the possibility of closing the Sankey Gap in the levee there. And once this project's done, there's probably no reason to leave the Sankey Gap there, which is a lower part of the levee in the Natomas Basin, which would also help with development in South Sutter County and Sacramento County and making it much more flood proof and flood resilient. And so that is a huge project moving forward on the Army Corps and SAFCA boards right now. The last thing I'd like to bring up is I would like to see us that Sutter County and Yuba City work together in a tax measure for a sales tax increase like we did in Measure A. I think that is critical for both the city and the county that we have this tax measure approved and passed, because neither the county or the city jurisdiction budget is fiscally as solvent as it could be if we had this money. And if we're going to continue to do raises and keep staff and provide public safety services, which we've become accustomed to and want to continue to do, we can't keep doing that with a status quo budget. And we can't get the resources necessary to support that. And therefore, I think it's critical that we have this tax sharing agreement move forward and that we have a fair and equitable tax sharing agreement with the city. And that was the extent of my comments. Thank you.
Supervisor Flores.
Well, through the chair, I'm sorry, just one quick comment on that. Mr. Chairman, we do have meetings scheduled or in the near future in regards to what he was talking about, a tax shared agreement, correct? Or we were planning on it?
I don't think there's anything scheduled.
Oh, not yet? We don't have anything scheduled yet?
No, when I last reached out, the city indicated they were still doing some research.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Supervisor Flores.
Yes, through the chair, just a follow-up question for that. I know Sutter County, we were going to determine whether or not we were going forward with a tax measure, period. So are we bringing that back at some point to a meeting in the near future? I mean, regardless of what the city decides to do.
I'm going to defer to our council.
Yeah, that's a question I have, if we are or not. I didn't ask if us.
You could direct staff to look into that possibility.
Okay. Could I direct staff to look into the possibility of bringing that back? Thank you. That'd be my first comment. My second is that Yuba City High School is celebrating their 100th year anniversary, and they're almost graduated. They're gone. So, I'd like to make sure that we recognize them and bring them in and recognize them for their 100th year anniversary. I know you guys are all Sutter High School graduates, but don't forget about Yuba City High School in the heart of Sutter County. We want to get them up here. Two, I'd like to bring back a recognition for Anna Gonzalez and her family for El Zarape. They have been in business over 71 years, and I'd really like to recognize them and have them come back to the board. I'd like to ask staff to bring back what it would take to do the study by the grand jury for all the electeds going forward on all the elected salaries to bring back further recommendations beyond what we did today. And I'd also ask the staff to look into what it will take for us to act on immediately obtaining an EIFD for Sutter Point so that we can move forward on some long overdue economic development down at the Sutter Point area. And I think an EIFD would help resolve that. So if we could look into that, I appreciate it. And then I also want to recognize, I know Chairman Baines was there, but Sutter County was recognized as a blue zone this morning, and I think that's a great recognition to have. And as I mentioned earlier, I feel healthier already because we got that recommendation. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, I guess I'll start right there. With Sutter County is the first jurisdiction to be a certified blue zone, by the way. And I just want to thank all the staff and the folks who that all collaborated together to make this happen. And look forward to working in a blue zone atmosphere. So, yeah, one shout out to them. And I guess since we're talking about being healthy and that this is National Bike Month, so maybe we could bring that back next meeting. And I'm going to go into some letters or certificates of recognition that I'd like to have made. One for Chloe Carrier and Jackson Smith, both out from Sutter High School. One is signed a letter of intent to attend Upper Iowa University, and Jackson accepted and signed a commitment with a scholarship with academics for shooting with William Penn University. Since we're, let's see here, more proclamations. This one goes out to the month of August, but August is going to be National Dog Day, so we can celebrate our lovely little canine pals in August. Later in the month here, the May 27th is the 27th annual Punjabi American Festival, so we get a proclamation for them, and a Jasmine Sandalist is going to be their main stage entertainment. If we get a letter welcoming her to Sutter County and a letter of recognition. And I have a question: when would be appropriate time to recognize women veterans? I'm not sure if it's the Memorial Day now or actually around Veterans.
If the chair would like, I believe June 12th is Women Veterans Day. I think that's when women were allowed to sign up for the military, and then there's also Veterans Day in November.
That's fine. If we could bring back in June, please. Supervisor.
I just wanted to remind the last time for our next meeting, I'd like to recognize the Yuba-Sutter stand down. Do you guys have that? Because okay, yeah, thank you.
All right. Let's see here. We have just a little FYI. I've got that May 18th is International Museum Day. So museums play an integral role in preserving the history of our society. The Sutter County Museum is going to be open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturdays and Sundays, 12 to 4. There's admission is free. I would just encourage community members to go out and visit the museum. And lastly, here I've got some letters of condolences, sympathies to go out to families of Prakash Singh Badal, Sarbjeet Sandhu, Sansar Badial, and then also a letter of sympathy and condolences go out to Lisa Marie Helmer for the passing of her husband. Going back to we'll leave it at that. Well, now I'm going to go back to the blue zones here real quick and just have one shout out that yes, we are the first jurisdiction that's actually certified, but there are some local businesses and New Earth grocery store is also certified, which are all in Sutter County. And that's it. So if I get a motion to accept all
move for approval.
One last comment.
Okay. Oh.
I believe it's National Teacher Week this week also.
Oh.
We missed the teacher.
Oh, we messed that one up, huh?
Let's start the meeting all over.
We'll bring that
right.
back so we can get one for National Teachers Week.
Squeeze one more
Here
presentation.
to the next meeting.
We're not bringing dogs in on Dog Day, are we? Into the chamber? Or? Okay.
Good idea.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
So there's a motion and a
Bring
second.
Zuko.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. You need a roll call?
That works.
You're fine.
We're good? All right. If there is no further business, the meeting is adjourned.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.